Today we're going to make dragon eyes using something called Model Magic. It's sort of like an air dry clay. It's really easy to use and it sticks to itself. So whenever you open it, the first thing you're going to do is divide it into 3 sections. These are going to be 3 different colors that we're going to make using ink daubers. So once you choose what eye you want for your dragon eye, you're going to choose 3 colors for changing the color of the Model Magic. One thing to remember is that because this is white, whatever you mix it with is going to be much lighter. So red and white makes pink. So something to think about whenever you're choosing your colors. To make this piece change colors, what I'm going to do first is flatten it out. This is actually going to be the background piece for my eye. We'll basically be making sort of an oval shape as the base for this sculpture. So what I'm going to do is flatten this out like a little thin pancake and decide what color I want the background to be. And I'm just going to take this ink and dot it. You don't need to smush it down super hard or anything like that. We don't want to mess up the ink dauber, and we just want to make sure we're getting ink all over it. So I got ink all over the whole thing. As we're doing this, you're going to have a piece of paper to sort of wipe off any clay you might have gotten on there. To avoid taking the ink off and having it just absorb into your skin instead of absorbing into the Model Magic, whenever you are changing the color of a piece, just fold it up sort of like a little taco. And it does take quite a bit of ink, so I like to do this multiple times. So I'm just going to fold it, dab it with the ink, fold it up like a taco again, until I get all that color in there. And then the next part does take quite a bit of time. And what I'm going to do next is just mix this together until this little ball of Model Magic has absorbed all of the ink. I squished it until all of the color got absorbed. If you want it to be darker, you're just going to have to keep repeating that process until this becomes the color that you want it to be, but it does take quite a long time. The next thing I'm going to do is roll this piece, which is still just 1/3 of the Model Magic, into a ball. To make it more of an oval, I like to sort of, roll it between my hands until it's sort of like an Easter egg sort of shape. And then I'm just going to flatten it with my hand, and it doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to be covering pretty much this whole thing. You don't want it to be too thin or it could break, but you want it to just be about this size, which is sort of an Easter egg size. And it will sometimes stick to the paper, so you need to make sure that every once in a while you're sort of picking it up. So now I have my little background part. I'm going to put my eye right in the middle and press it down some. And then I'm going to dye my other 2 pieces. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to make these 2 pieces other colors. If you want your dragon eye to have several different colors like this, then what you need to do is tear these in half and make these the colors that you want. But it does take a while, so I am going to do this in faster speed. All right, getting those mixed up is honestly the most time-consuming part of this project. Actually, making the dragon eye does not take that long. So what I'm going to do now is make sort of the eyelid part, which if you look at this one, goes around the little dragon eye charm. You can get complicated with this if you want to and put multiple colors together, but I think it looks good even if you just use one color. Later we might go back with metallic markers like this one to add designs. So all you need is 2 sort of worms or coils made out of the clay. So I'm just going to take this piece and I'm dividing this into 2, and I'm going to make 2 little coils out of this. We're going to do the bottom eyelid first, and we don't have to do anything to make this stick together. It's actually very sticky to itself, so you've got to be really careful as you put things on and attach things. They're going to be stuck on there, so make sure you're happy with where it is. So I'm just going to take this coil and press it down a little bit. So that's the bottom eyelid, and I'm going to take the top coil and put it on like this and press it down. So I have the top and the bottom around the little dragon eye. The rest of these colors are going to be for all of the scales around the eye. So basically you're just going to make really tiny little balled up pieces of the Model Magic and then press them down. Around the side, I'm going to show you how to make them pointy on the ends, but we're just going to start with the inside layer and work our way out, adding little tiny pieces. So I'll just show you. I'm going to take this and just start rolling up little scales. And if you want them to be around the same size, you can just sit them out on your paper. But all you have to do to attach them is once you have your little ball here, you just press it out like a little tiny pancake and then gently put it by the little eyelid. So I'm going to press it down, and whenever I attach it, I'm going to show you, I want to overlap them like that. So I'm pressing it down and overlapping. So I'm going to do this all the way around the whole eye with this pinkish red color. Once you finish doing your first layer of scales, so your first color, around the outside, it's going to be up to you depending on how many colors you made. If you go around with only one color, so here I only made 2 shades of purple to make it go a little bit faster. So I only used 1 shade of purple, but on this one I made 2 different yellows, so I went around with 2 colors. But you're going to do the same thing just around the outside. So I'm making tiny little scales like pancakes and pushing them down. So I'm going to do the next layer. You could just end right here and be finished for today with the eye, and be ready for it to dry. Or if you want to add some more pointy scales to it, I'm going to show you how to do that. So basically you probably want your scale to be a little bit bigger. So this is a little bit bigger than the other ones that I made. And whenever you flatten it out and it's sort of an oval, what you want to do is hold it and then pinch it like this to make a raindrop shape. Whoa, to make a raindrop shape. And you just do the same thing where you press it on the end. So you can do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and make a few more and press those around on the outside. So you just ball it up, flatten it, and then make the end pointy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and added the raindrop scales, and now I'm just going to use my extra to add a few more decorations on here. Again, you could be done here. It's still very fragile and wet, so you've got to make sure that you're staying really careful with it, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it and show you how we're going to store it. Okay, so I'm finished with mine. If you do finish today, the day we're working on this, you have a much smaller brown piece of paper than me. This is butcher paper that you can cook on, and it's going to help it dry really evenly. You're going to write your name on this little paper with a Sharpie, and then we're just going to turn this in on the counter. Let's say for some reason you did not finish today. That's fine. We will take yours and slide it very, very carefully into a Ziploc. And then the colors you made, what you're going to need to do is roll them up like this to keep them separated from each other. And then put those in the little Ziploc bag with your eye, and we will finish next time. If you do finish today and you have extras, any colors that can be mixed together, like all of these are warm colors, so I can just mix them together. Just mix them together and give me the extra. Everybody's doing model magic right now, so I'm going to need all of the little pieces that I can get. Otherwise, just give me the individual colors that you made. And I'm just going to collect those on my desk, and next time we're going to add some details to this.